from what is called the Stockholm syndrome. Google it, right? So they suffer from that. I kind of can remind you a little bit, if you don't mind. It took these obedient people just about 16, 17 months. In fact, it was less than that. Just a year, 12 months to pull what they pulled the last time. So the people destroying people, the articulators and co, right? To them, Tinubu is president of Nigeria today simply because of the obedience. Okay? You remember that when Peter Obi went on to go and join this Labour Party, it was after he had toured the entire Nigeria, 36 states of Nigeria, speaking to this PDP delegate. That's also another factor. Set of people that determines who and who will become your candidates. And these are those who are mostly illiterates, but they are very, very kind of like influential in their party settings, all right, in that corrupt system, okay? So he met with a lot of them, but they told him he didn't probably have enough money to share like that of Wike, right? So then he moved to the Labour Party a year before your election, a year. That was when this your tsunami of obedience, and then Yakubu still gave you 6 million votes. So to Ahmed Datti, they would have done a different job, or they would have cut waste, or they would have removed subsidy, but not the whole of it. They would have cut corruption. They would have, but we will never know. However, he strongly believes that swearing in Tinubu to be your president was one of the greatest historical mistakes that Nigeria, if it continued to exist, would be one of the greatest mistakes that Nigeria has ever made. And Tinubu is just unraveling. However, he is also very convinced to some extent that if Tinubu is smart enough, the ideal thing for him is not to run in 2027. You know, like he shouldn't run in 2027 or else his defeat will be so outstanding that, right, it will be kind of like he will regret not taking his advice. Okay, I spoke about all factors surrounding this, talk about their 2027. Politicians think about the next elections. Leaders think about the next generation. Tinubu's 2027 run began just the same day he told all of you subsidy was gone. May 29, 2023. That was the day they kickstarted this 2027 run. But maybe there's something that the likes of Datti probably do know that we don't. And also, if their coalition fail, which is likely that it's going to, right? Obi and his own team currently controls the Labour Party because of the Supreme Court ruling. We don't know for how long. Since Lamidi Otapampas, as well as Abure himself, right, are claiming, they are claiming the chairmanship of the parties, okay? Of the party. But to Ahmed Datti, talking about Tinubu, his first grouse with Tinubu being put in power was the illegitimacy around it. And I think that still works on it though, right? Watch this.
I expect Tinubu to throw in the towel. If he is that, you see, a sworn-in government needs to be and must be consistent with the constitution of the country. And now, if I were to open the relevant sections to you that we have discussed before, they are at variance with the justice served on Nigeria. So with due respect to the justice system, it is valid to ask, did the custodians of the law do the lawful? And the answer is simply no. We do recognize that the courts have the power to do all and everything, but that all and everything must be justice. The sworn-in Tinubu Shetima government does not strictly comply with the Nigerian constitution as it were today. So it is not out of place for any objective mind to still call it unconstitutional. Mildly, one could say it is questionably constitutional. But then here's the big rejoinder to it. 9 out of 16 Nigerian leaders did not buy INEC forms. Yet they served their terms. One of them 9 years, General Gawan, President Babangida 8 years. Nothing could, they were not consistent with the then written constitution because the constitutions were suspended. The point I'm making is that you could be a president, you could be a head of state, you could be a leader, you could be a dictator, so long as you're allowed to remain there. And the big point here is that Tinubu was allowed and is allowed to remain there, despite the efforts of people like me. You remember my efforts. I called clearly for Tinubu Shetima not to be sworn in, and it was legal, it is legitimate up to now. Why? I gave my reasons. Then, did the Nigerian Constitution have an alternative to that? Yes, of course, very constitutional. Ahmed Lawal could have served to, I think, 8th or 9th of June. And at the point of electing a new Senate president, he acts out the balance of 90 days during which a second or rerun election was to be held because Tinubu Shetima did not satisfy the demands of the Constitution to be sworn in. However, it was allowed. I tried to legitimately form what I called then the Constitutional Crisis Resolution Group. All we had to do was to take 3 documents, the Constitution, INEC results, and the options. Go to Washington, Brussels, London, Addis Ababa, on 29th, occupy Eagle Square. Tinubu will not be there today. And the beauty of stopping injustice is that it will not perpetrate itself. Bad leadership is a virus. What do viruses do? They create more, they become more and more and more. We should have stopped this before it happened, and legitimately so, constitutionally so, irrespective of the powers, the DSS, the police, you simply serve a notice. You see, the word democracy is still having a great deal to be understood. When you have a democracy, it means that at some point in time, the people will come out and be the arbiters themselves. Right now, Nigerian governments are governments because they have the army, they have the police and all those security forces surrounding and protecting them while they misrule. And the Nigerian people have no propensity to really take up their government. Well, that is the meaning of democracy, that behind the Nigerian army, there is the army of the Nigerian people, whom if you transgress their constitution, they will come out against it. Well, now, bad leadership has realized the incapacity of Nigerians to come together and protect their rights. That is why I told you that if you cannot practice democracy, for God's sake, democracy is not for you. There were the hunger protests about last year also. But when you have 1,000 people doing what 1 million people should do.
Exactly. He's right in that regard. I mean, you can't even okay, hang on. I think you can. You know, what I wanted to say is that you can't really understand this opposition of a thing in Nigeria. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you can, because there's no real opposition per se, all right? They are all bodies. They are kind of like party and what have you. So sabotaging this and that for the sake of this and that is what they call opposition in that place. So it's not really, because if not, right? You say you have a country of 200 million people, but the opposition in Nigeria cannot call out 1 million people. Like, what kind of opposition is that? Oppositions who are so afraid in order not to upset the DSS because they don't want to go sleep for cell or prison or something. Others are like, well, it's because if they start acting like opposition, the government will tell you who they really are. Okay? So if you are looking for those who are not, the reason why Nigeria is not working and Nigeria will never work, and you are blaming us, fine. but let's show you all of us. So you're going to see your bishop, you are going to see your Satan, you are going to see your, what do you call it, your royal father, Abi. You're going to see this and that. And you guys look at that one. We are all together. We are all destroying this contraption. So nobody is a saint, kind of. So because of that, some of them can't really form a true opposition. Opposition that cannot call out 1 million people. Now, opposition with that. Huh? Because I don't understand. Oh, if you try to call out for a rally or for a protest now, they will frame him up. They are going to put him in prison. But we have seen so many opposition being put in prison all over the world by their own ruling party who want to flex their muscle. But guess what? The people's will is stronger than the... Look, hang on. I think Princess said that it is the people's power. The people's power is more potent than the power of the people in power. Kind of. You know? Opposition in Nigeria. You know, it's like they are like that. Like, oh, let's tell Nigerians to go and probably fight for themselves. And if it works, then we can latch on it and begin to say we're on the side of the people, because nobody wanted to be seen as leading the charge. We're not anymore. Bokwari, Tinubu, Pastor Ruga, Oshiomole, name it, all those guys. Even El Rufai, the Kaduna Little Finger, they all brought out their faces to challenge Egbere Jolantan. They organized rallies, protests against Egbere Jolantan in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, in Lagos, in Kaduna, all over the place. So, what kind of opposition do you have now? The type that is just trying to leverage on the people's misery, unfortunately. Well, that's not how Datti sees it. So Datti believes that the 2027 of a thing is going to be between Tinubu and the people. That you can only rig if you are popular, and you can only rig where you are popular. Tinubu's regime has brought on toward hardship, and therefore the people will reject him. And if he is very, very smart, like they claim he is, the right thing for Tinubu right now is to throw in the towel. Okay? Never run in 2027. This is what that is saying. So that means we are going to have Obi Datti. You're going to begin to hear about them now after May 2025, right? After next month. Because to Tinubu and his gang, right? Hundreds of billions of naira have been set aside for this project. They will buy anything buyable, beat it into some of you until they have what they want. So is Datti right? Because to Datti, right? That is like, this is not even about corruption. It's also about incompetence. Take a look at Tinubu's appointees. Take a look at what they are doing. I mean, fine, in fairness, right? Tinubu can't do or won't do everything. Is your president. Every stock ends on this table, right? Fine. So he has appointed people, okay, to handle ministry, this, handle that. So normal. They should have all they need to impact your lives. But Tinubu has nearly 50 ministers, 48 by the way, or 49. Manuel said, right? 49 ministers, the highest ever in the history of Nigeria presidency. And yet, the one in charge of power is dealing in darkness. The one who is the Minister of Defense. Do you even know your Minister of Defense? Do you? One of the Minister of Defense is called Patawale. He is a terrorist sponsor. I didn't say it. It was one of the terrorists who said he is a sponsor. Not just that. Oh, his own successor, Dauda Lawal, from Zamfara, said that they captured terrorists. The moment they hand them over to the police, they say order from Abuja. Order from Abuja said they should release them. That's the person that beat Patawale until Patawale became the minister under Tinubu. in charge of defense. Somebody will get his own illegal mine in Zamfara, armed young men to continue to cause havoc, but he's the minister. He said they lied to him. He said he used Quran to swear that he has nothing to do with terrorism. But his own successor said he does have something to do with terrorism. That's the Minister of Defense. Badaru from Jigawa, another thief. That's your Minister of Defense, in case if you don't know. So the two of them are former governors of Zamfara and Jigawa. So who is your Minister of Agriculture? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. For real, I don't. I know Tinubu is your Minister of Petroleum, so you don't even know where he is, do you? Some said that maybe Tinubu don't collapse somewhere. I say, well, don't feed into that, okay? But sometimes that's what they want you to be saying, okay? And then you'll be wishing maybe something should happen to him. So Datti believes that what is better for Tinubu right now is to throw in the towel, because he's not just only an illegitimate president of Nigeria, he's also an incompetent fellow that surrounds himself with ass lickers, praise singers, court jesters, those who just want to massage his ego. But when it comes to delivery, I look around now. Okay, that's it.
I expect Tinubu to throw in the towel. If he is that smart politician that he turns out to be. You know me, I say the truth. For someone to have organized 2007, culminating in his electoral heist in 2023, that person must be super smart politician. I'm not praising him at all. It's not good to be what really he is that I don't want to say. But look, he skipped 2007 and jokingly made Atiku candidate, made Ribadu and somebody 11, made Buhari in 15, Buhari won, and then skipped 2019 and then stole 2023. If he is that smart, everything is there for him that he's going to lose 2027. If he is that smart, because everything is there. There are two possible candidates that I cannot mention, and they are the nemesis of Tinubu. Tinubu's time has come. It has been proven that APC is a lie. Buhari did not develop Nigeria. Buhari did not provide security. Buhari did not fight corruption. Neither will Tinubu ever do this. So going forward, I see APC losing this election. I see Nigerians somehow uniting. Listening to what someone like me is saying that, look, if you cannot practice this democracy, it's not for you. And then Nigerians will decide to come out and practice democracy for the first time. And then bad leadership will begin to have no hiding place in Nigeria. And then gradually we'll begin to heal our land. We'll begin to recover. We'll begin to unite and take each other's as fellow Nigerians, brothers and sisters. Yes, but to make matters even simple for you, is just to put it very shortly, the quality of leadership in Nigeria has fallen to the ground. I'll quickly give you two examples. I'm not making it up. There is electronic evidence everywhere. A highly placed official of this government said, let everywhere burn. And the next day there were bombings in that state. A serving minister said, let the whole place burn. Please, go back to the 1980s. During President Babangida's time, a military governor just made a passing statement that if he were in service in 1966, he would have joined the coup. Immediately relieved of his commissioning, and that was it. Immediately. This minister who said, let the whole place burn, right now is waxing stronger and stronger and stronger in government. The Nigerian people are not calling for his head because he's too rich, he's too powerful. The president and the vice presidents are so incompetent, they are carried away by their 2027 agenda and the relationship between themselves, that they cannot call a highly placed cabinet member who says, let the whole place burn, for God's sake. Is this leadership? Is this the kind of leader he should have? He is so powerful that, as I speak here, I should be concerned of what he can do and he can't do. Is this leadership or is this brigandage?
Well,
I'll give you another example
right.
of how bad leadership has become, the way leaders think. Peter Obi gave scholarship, together with me, gave scholarship to a 17-year-old